But yeah, I just told you a story about Ghana, West Africa. Man, dopest experience in my life. And the borders were closing. I was like, damn, do I stay in Ghana or do I come to Chicago? Do I stay in paradise, tropical paradise, or do I come to gritty, cold Chicago? Guess what I did? I will go back home. What's up, everyone? You're tuned in with Powered by Caesar, and welcome to my living room. I changed up the vibe, the aesthetic a little bit. You know, sometimes I come with the professional studio vibe, but today I just want to kick it. And so we're going to kick it. One of the things I want to get into today is I want to tell a little story about my time in Ghana, West Africa. And I want to talk about the time where I had 24 hours to leave the country to get back to the United States because of why? You guessed it, COVID-19. So I was in Ghana in 2020 for something called the Fulbright Fellowship. And so at this time when I was in Ghana, you know, everything was decent. I was DJing on the #1 radio station. I was working at the US Embassy, going back and forth and going to different production houses, making an album, sharing samples of music to producers to run a remix competition. Everything was good. Everything was great. And then COVID-19 happened. So we didn't think nothing of it too much. You know, operations still going as is, as normal. I'm going to the studio every day. I have some good stories about the studio and my travels to the studio and encounters with the police trying to extort me, but we can talk about that another day. So check this out. I'm at the studio. We're producing The Sounds of Ghana, the music album. We're kicking it. Shout out Avis Studios for hooking it up. And but yeah, we're kicking it. We're in Tema right now, in Tema, Ghana, or at least on the way to Tema, between Accra and Tema. And while I'm at the studio, I get a phone call from my contact at the U.S. Embassy, because the program I was under the U.S. Embassy. So she calls me, and I'm a little confused because she doesn't call too often. She'll WhatsApp me, say hello, see how things are going. But I answer, I say hello. She says, yeah, you know, this COVID-19 thing, I just want to let you know the borders are going to close indefinitely, and you have 24 hours to get out the country or to stay in the country. But if you end up staying, we don't know when you can come back to the US. I said, wow, okay. So now in my mind, I'm like, do I want to stay in Ghana? And the way I describe it, I would be in paradise. I'm right by the ocean. My American dollar goes a very long way. I have fresh fruit, fresh food, everything. I would be kicking it once again. I mean, during the pandemic, but like still, anyways. So I thought about that, but then I also thought about the decision to come home and tend to a lot of responsibilities that needed to happen on the ground over here. You know, a lot of stuff was going on. So I was like, all right, you know what? Yeah, I want to go back home. So she's like, okay, but the flight cost $5,000. I said, whoa, $5,000? Okay, hold up. At this point, I'm under the U.S. Embassy, right? They're going to have to find a way to get me back. I'm under their official program, or informal / formal program with them. So I'm like, they're going to find a way if I need to get back. So let's talk about negotiation skills. I say, hey, I don't got $5,000 for a flight. And she's like, okay, hold on. Let me see what I could do. I said, okay, bet. So I'm at the studio now, and now you could probably just imagine I'm tripping. I'm with my guys at the studio. We're making this music, and now I'm just tripping, man. I'm like, yo, light me up one real quick. And so now, yeah, I'm bugging out, kind of waiting for a call, and then she calls me back. She's like, okay, we found a flight. Do you want this flight? I said, yes, I do. She said, okay. So she gets me the flight. I'm like, all right, cool. So now I got a flight probably in the next like 6 to 8 hours. Now I got to get from the studio, get all my stuff, and then get to the airport. So usually when you're done with the program that I was in, or in the program I was in, they issue us a U.S. Embassy card. You're usually supposed to return the U.S. Embassy card when you get back and you finish your program. You got to give it back to them. And so, they didn't collect it. So I still have my embassy card on me. I really kept that on me anytime, anywhere I went. And I get to the airport, and now I'm like, dang, man, there's hundreds, even couple thousand of people trying to get back to wherever they're coming from from Ghana to wherever they got to go. And so I'm like, all right, cool. Man, what am I going to do? Let me just go into this airport. Guess what? I run into my friend. So when I run into my friend, she's like, hey, Caesar. I'm like, yo, what's up? She has a smile on her face. She's all happy. I'm like, why are you all happy? What's going on? She's like, you could just skip the line with this embassy card. I said, word, okay, bet, say less. And so I follow her into the airport, and like I said, lines, just buku lines everywhere. Lines, people. We're walking in, show the embassy card, and we cut everybody in line. So we had no wait. I'm like, bet, this is a crazy perk right now. I'm sure it must have been way different in Afghanistan when the troops were pulled out. But anyways, there was a lot of chaos going on. Not people jumping on wings and stuff, but people trying to get home. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in the airport. I badged my way in. I got my ticket. I'm good to go. All right, smooth sailing from Ghana to New York. But remember, this is the first day of the COVID-19 pandemic, and New York, that was a time when New York was looked at like, yo, the highest amount of cases of COVID. And when we arrived to New York, like the only people in the airport really was us. And I was like, yo, this is crazy. I never seen an airport like this. And now I'm at either Kennedy or, man, the other New York airport. I forgot the other one. Reagan? I don't know. But I'm at one of them, and I got to get to the other one for my connection to Chicago. So I'm like, yo, how am I now going to get from this ghost town airport to Chicago, to the other airport to get to Chicago? And guess who came to the rescue? My friend is there. I said, yo, how are you getting home? She's from New York. She's like, my parents are picking me up. I said, wow, yo, can they drive me to the airport? So she says, yes. I said, thank you so much. They drove me to the airport, and I get to the other airport now for my connection flight. And if I thought this airport was a ghost town, when I arrived to that airport, man, Reagan, Kennedy, I don't know which one it was. Anyways, when I was there, man, nobody there. Absolutely nobody. But I end up catching my flight back to Chicago. I get to Chicago. By policy, I actually have to quarantine myself at a hotel for 2 weeks now since I came from out of the country. And man, that is a whole experience itself, quarantining myself for 2 weeks. I mean, just to make it short, it was honestly such an awesome experience. Like, this was the first time I ever got to sit myself down for 2 weeks, like with nowhere to go. I'm always on the move. I'm always active. And so, yeah, like I actually produced my first music album called Do You Love Me? It's on Spotify. You can check that out. Super dope album. And I was just figuring out ways to entertain myself, work out, man, making TikTok videos. But I'm trying to quarantine myself for 2 weeks again sometime soon. But honestly, like doing that at a place where it's like a wooded area and has a cabin and maybe like a jacuzzi would be so decent. But yeah, not like a hotel next to O'Hare Airport, Chicago. But yeah, man, that's my story about, man, being in Ghana, West Africa when the COVID-19 pandemic hit and all of the borders were closing. Oh, that was a chaotic experience, man. It was dope though. It was super dope. No, it wasn't dope. So yeah, I wonder what my life would look like if I ended up staying. But I do believe that, this was actually one of the choices that I made in my life that was like a significant choice. I feel like there's a few of those choices that everyone has in their lives that it does change their trajectory. And so, yeah, like making that decision after that, I ended up getting my full-time job at the place I'm at now that I've been for like for 5 years. You know, I've been in Chicago kind of like holding it down, re-engaging in supporting my family and doing things like that. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of ready for a new chapter now, because I've been, after COVID, 4 or 5 years back in Chicago, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, when is this next decision happening? And I think it's happening now. Yeah, to create a new chapter in life. So yeah, I'm wondering what that looks like, but I know that it's gonna be full of you know what? I don't know yet, but I'll let the higher power guide me towards where I need to be. But hey, you know what? I appreciate you tuning in. You're tuned in with Powered by Caesar. Subscribe to my channel. I'm working to get 500 subscribers. I think I need 100 more. So, yo, hit like, hit subscribe, comment, support the channel, because we're gonna blast off, and you know that. All right, peace.